Good morning, everybody. Just wanted to stop and give props to Dr. Jaquish for coming up with the new 34-inch bands. Got mine, and I got my smaller band for adding on to other bands for smaller increments rather than just jumping bands. Anybody that knows that my training, I have picked it up a notch. I've put on 10 pounds of muscle in the last 8 weeks. Maybe not total muscle, but 10 pounds, and it's solid. I'm getting stronger and thicker, and we'll just cover some other things to do with that, to show that some of the nutritional guidelines with protein, for example, for the average person, that does not apply to extreme bodybuilding, for example. But also volume, new meta-analysis is on that. Even the length and partials versus, full length repetitions, full range of motion, and I'm going to break down how certain things are benefits and aren't, and they both work, and why they both work, and how to take advantage of both things. Everybody knows that has followed me knows for the last 3 years I've been ironing out some severe body problems that pretty much incapacitated me, and until I found balance in band training, I couldn't even train anymore. And once I started using bands and balance, thank God to John Jaquish and my buddy Phil, I didn't hurt anymore, and I found a new excitement in life, and I actually got in like bodybuilding stage shape. I was like an incredibly ripped 215 pounds, just using gymnast rings, resistance bands, and a Bosu ball, just to prove my point that it could be done. There's a lot of other things that I've learned as time's gone on, and I'm going to be hopefully the beginning of March. I plan on flying to Sweden and helping Johan train for his first bodybuilding competition, and we're going to make a video for extreme X3 training. Okay, there's nothing wrong with the original training program. That's 95% of people. Most people just want to be in better shape and be healthier, and that's what's needed. But then there's those of us that are on the extreme end of things, and that's our passion in life, and we need to take things to another level. So we're going to teach some ways that we can do that. For those that don't want to even go to the gym at all, some people, some of the pro bodybuilders I work with, I make them always get an X3, bring it to the gym with them. But there's ways that we can go around the gym altogether, and especially if we have a training partner, okay? And we'll cover some of that stuff. Now, all that aside, I'll be making some videos covering all these different things, because I could go on and on. But the 34-inch bands, thank you, Mr. Jaquish, for doing that. I was using 32-inch bands for my deadlifts because I wanted the adequate tension in the beginning, but I used the heel wedges. Not only opens up the backside and realigns everything and tilts the pelvic the way it should be, and not have to worry about the dorsiflexion, because I was born with incredibly flat feet. I've also fixed my flat feet to the most part because of the single leg Bosu ball squat, which Dr. Jaquish taught me that as well. Okay, so I have a lot of love for Mr. Jaquish, and we've become good friends, and I hope he realizes that. I think he does. But the 34-inch bands were exactly what I needed. I don't like shortening the bands and all this kind of stuff. And I actually prefer this original rubber. I like the density of it. You have just a thicker density from the very beginning. And my new training system, I'm still playing with it, but every single day, I get up in the morning and I go through a series of movements like the X3 deadlift, the shoulder press, chest press, bicep curl, overhead tricep extension, single leg Bosu ball squat, maybe some standing calf raises or heel elevated just body weight squats, things like that. But I'm using reps that are from 30 to 50 reps because all my goal is to push blood. It's one for body, fixing body issues, but two, just pushing blood into everything. Blood heals, going through that full range of motion and pumping tons of blood into the muscles. Even if a muscle is sore, you can train it high rep and it will help it recover faster. I'm not into the trying to cram everything in a 10-minute workout, and that's great that John had come up with that for the busy person that just wants to get in better shape. But for those of us that know, like my buddy Johan and I, that's not an aspect, that's not a matter to us. We want to see how far we can push ourselves, and if we have to do a 30-40 minute workout even twice a day, we'll do it because we love it and the results are worth it. So for example, today finally got to use the 34-inch bands. I've been praying to get them for so long. I finally got them, and I used the white band with the heel wedges and did 40 really nice, slow, perfect reps, squeezing the shoulder blades together at the top, coming down extremely slow, full range of motion up and down, did 40 reps. My abductors feel fantastic. I can feel where the lower back's meeting the pelvic bone, the tissue's finally starting to soften up and pull apart. My pelvic bone in the front is tilting up enough that I feel the quads starting to pull apart. There was some discomfort there in the knees, but that's because as the quads are pulling apart, it's going to put tension on the knees, but it's slowly going away. And now I actually feel blood flow and like even throbbing in the knees, which is a very good thing. So every day I'm going to continue to do, once I get up to 50 reps with the 34-inch white band in that perfect form, then I'm going to go to the smaller gray band and start working my way up with that. No matter what my workout is, I still get up in the morning and just pump blood into the muscles. 1 to 2 days a week, I don't work out, but I still do that just to push blood into those muscles, and I think the body's meant to do something every day. I was going to the gym and doing a trunk twist machine, and Dr. Jake was shared with me a maneuver like the top of a Zercher squat doing twists with the X3, and I've started doing that. Love it, thank God. I'm going to use the 34-inch bands for, I'm 5'9". We need adequate tension in the very beginning of the rep as well. We know that the muscle, needs to contract hard from the beginning to end, but if we can make it get so tight that it comes to a dead stop at a certain point over halfway through the rep, we're doing ourselves some favors there because we're maxing out how much that muscle can lift at that point. I normally don't go over 30 reps when it comes to building muscle. I feel that's not enough tension to continue to hypertrophy, but for my daily just pumping blood into everything, doing single leg Bosu ball squats or heel elevated, just body weight squats, high reps. A set of the deadlifts, high reps. Shoulder press, just using the original white band. Full range of motion. From clear down here, clear to the top, full range of motion, nice steady tempo. Right now, 35 reps with that. Once I get up to 40, 50 reps, then I'll either add the new smaller X3 band to it, or I'll step up to the small gray band. Chest press, using a light enough band with that. I actually can't even use this large gray band for that yet, because you start with so much tension in the beginning that it super exceeds even the elite band right now for me, which is pretty awesome. I love the tension in the beginning. That's what we've all needed. Anybody that's under 6 foot, 6'2", if you're not shortening your bands or getting the shorter bands, you're really screwing yourself out of some gains. I'm going to be doing like a close grip bench press for the tricep extension. I use the original white band for real high rep overhead tricep extensions. I'm going to be, on the days that I'm just pumping blood into the muscle, I do as many reps as I can with the original white band, just to put some blood into the muscle and then stretch it a little bit. But I'm going to start doing my regular reps with the 34-inch white band and doing high volume training. My volume is going to get pretty serious, and as long as I'm just going to feel out my recovery, and as long as I can recover, I'm good. Now, with that said, soreness does not mean you can't train a muscle. If you pushed a muscle to the point where it feels fatigued or sore, using a really light load and pushing blood into the muscle will actually help it recover faster. You're pushing the nutrients and hormones into it, activating receptors, and we can actually recover faster that way. Okay? Diet goes hand in hand with this, but I'm even training muscles twice a day now to split up the volume, because I know if we did 10 sets of chest, for example, after we do 3 to 5 sets, the sets are just so ineffective. So if I get adequate nutrition, a little rest, and 8 hours later do another 5 sets for chest, sometimes I'll even exceed my earlier workout, but now I have 10 really good sets. And then from there, I will just feel out the recovery. But back to the 34-inch bands, bicep curl, tricep extension, regular one, close grip bench, chest press, deadlifts for sure, calf raises. What's another one? Oh, the single arm hammer curl. Awesome length for that. You can just step on the band and loop it over your hand and do hammers. Great for that. These 34-inch bands are exactly what I needed. And then the smaller band is really nice just to incrementally bump up tension rather than having to jump a whole band. That way, because I'm not going to do over 25, 30 reps. A lot of studies have shown that anything more than that, there's just not enough tension on the muscle to continue to hypertrophy. And I see the reason for it with the band sizes jumping, but as I said, I'll still do those high reps, but that's just for pumping blood into the muscle and recovery. So when I get to 25, 30 reps, a lot of times I'll just add that really small band to it to knock me down maybe 8, 10 reps and work my way back up before I jump to the next band size. Okay, so my volume's about to get really high. My protein intake is about to get really high, because we've shown the 1 gram per pound of body weight is pretty much a minimum requirement for hypertrophy, and all studies done on that are on, average people and athletes looking for, performance and things like that, not bodybuilders. Like, and anybody can see that I've been helping Johan. He's 250 pounds, and the amount of protein I'm cramming down his throat is pretty ridiculous. It's been shown that depending on the amount of volume done in the day, rest you get, your hormone levels, things like that, guys have utilized up to 2 grams per pound of body weight. And if you're not getting the adequate amount, you're shorting yourself. And one of the beautiful things with protein, we can't get fat on it, and if we consume too much, we just burn some off as heat. Oh well, whatever. So I'd rather always be a little heavy on the protein, and it's even been shown to up the studies have even shown just eating excessive amounts of protein will put even muscle on a guy, just simply doing that. Okay, so I'm getting off into a side tangent, but I'm telling you guys, anybody that's under 6 foot tall for sure, get yourself a set of these 34-inch bands. You'll be doing yourself an incredible favor. Even the deadlift alone, you just have such good tension in the beginning, and by the time you get to the top, that band is just screaming. And I was using the 32-inch bands from Serious Steel. They were a little too short to use with the heel wedges, and I was shredding the shit out of the bands. I can tell these bands that Dr. J has made are even better quality, and that couple inches, I'm not going to run into that as much. But chest press, so with the 34-inch band, sorry, I'm tired, it's been a long long morning. Chest press, tricep press, bicep curl, deadlift, calf raises, and the bent over row. I'm going to start using the 34-inch bands for all of that. And then I use band handles, and I'm going to use the 34-inch bands for shrugs in a style like you're holding dumbbells. I like to do shrugs to the side like that, like you're carrying a couple buckets. I feel that's more natural, and you can manipulate things and move. So, not saying anything's wrong with the bar, but I like to experiment and take things as far as I can. Otherwise, single leg Bosu ball squats and front squats are my main quad movements. I have a leg curl that I might share with everybody that I have come up with that works really well, and use that way, working the hamstring from the knee halfway up. The hamstring's a unique muscle. It attaches in the middle of the femur. Part of it runs up to the pelvic bone, the other part down to the knee, and they can kind of separately work depending on what you're doing. And the stiff leg deadlifts do a good job, but at a high level, if you want as big a hamstrings as you can, you're going to want to also utilize the leg curl. So I do use the leg curls first, then go through my leg workout, and then do the RDLs from there. And the RDLs also I'm going to be doing with the 34-inch bands. So I love these 34-inch bands. Thank you, John. You're a good friend. Thanks for coming up with this stuff. Otherwise, I hope everybody has a good day. I'm about to cram down some food and go to Dunkin' Donuts and get an iced coffee and get ready to blast my leg workout. All right? I'll talk to you later.